Hi, I'm Abdul Saad, clinical psychologist at Vital Mind Psychology here in Sydney, Australia. And this is the final video in this series on the understanding the romantic appeal of narcissists. In this video, I want to look at the question of what social factors, changes, and trends might be making narcissists have greater ascendency and access in today's sexual and relationship marketplace, and how might these social changes have disrupted the polarity between masculine and feminine energy within the sexual and relationship marketplace. By the way, my website is vitalmind.com.au. Check me out there, and that's where you can find out more regarding my approach, including the coaching services I offer to international clients. And also check me out at Facebook, just search for Vital Mind Psychology. So to help shed light on the question under examination in this video, I'm reflecting on my own clinical experience as well as published research, some of which I'll reference in the video description. And what follows from here is a hypothesis, is a theory. Hold it lightly, listen with an open mind. We know that modern Western culture is more individualistic than ever, more than it is communal. And that is, in Western culture today, the focus is on the power, choice, and agency of the individual. And there is evidence to suggest that in communal or collectivist cultures, where the focus is on the group and its needs, men who are non-narcissistic, who are not typically highly extroverted, dominant, and self-assured, have greater success in the relationship and sexual marketplace. That is, they're more likely to form long-term, successful romantic relationships that produce offspring. Now, the focus on individualism, or we could call this a hyper-individualism in the hyper-modern West today, Western culture, can be thought of as a representation of the dominance of masculine energy over feminine energy. Masculine energy is goal-focused, dominant, and imposes boundaries. It is a penetrative energy. It seeks to fill up space. Whereas feminine energy, in contrast, is open, accepting, and nurturing. It is a receptive energy that seeks to take in or receive. Now, masculine and feminine energy is not strictly defined according to biological sex. Both men and women are a mix of masculine and feminine energy. Some men may embody more feminine energy than compared to some women, and many women today, we could say, probably embody more masculine energy than a lot of men out there. Masculine energy is helpful to both men and women when it comes to achieving a goal, overcoming an obstacle, and setting boundaries. Now, a romantic relationship, which by definition is a sexual relationship, requires a balance of masculine and feminine energy to ensure sufficient sexual polarity or tension between both partners. In a romantic relationship, the tension or polarity between masculine and feminine energy in both partners acts just as the positive and negative force of a magnet to ensure a magnetism or a pull, and you may refer to this as chemistry. Now, in a heterosexual romantic relationship between a man and a woman, research, clinical experience, and I think common sense points to the reality that in the main, women are attracted to men with more masculine energy, and men are more attracted to women with more feminine energy as a general rule. Now, in some relationships, this can be reversed with the woman embodying the more masculine energy, and the relationship can be successful with the man having the more feminine energy. But I would say this is the exception to the rule in terms of intimate relationships which are successful in the longer term. So holding that background in mind, those preliminary remarks I've made about masculine and feminine energy and sexual polarity, excuse me, we appear to be witnessing a broader social push in modern Western culture, which highly favors the embodiment of masculine energy in women, especially young women, across all domains of their life. Not just in those domains where masculine energy may be or is useful, that is to achieve a goal, such as in education or career. But girls and women today appear to be saturated and bombarded with messages, both explicit and implicit, which favors dominance, strongness, determination, toughness, and go-getness, all of which are manifestations of masculine energy. And this trend is evident in advertising, social media, and in popular forms of entertainment. Now, the constant focus on strength, independence, performance, and complete self-sufficiency leaves little room for the embodiment of a more feminine or receptive energy. And it also, in my clinical experience, negatively impacts women, as the weight of being in masculine energy almost all the time is eventually exhausting and has negative consequences on a woman's health and relationships. The sexual and relationship marketplace hinges upon the polarity between masculine and feminine energy. Now, in this more masculine energy state, women may fail to feel any or enough sexual polarity or magnetism with men who embody anything less than a masculine or in fact a hyper-masculine energy. And are thus nowhere near, and thus men who are nowhere near as adept at the game playing and the seduction that narcissists are so expert at in the beginning of a relationship are at a strategic disadvantage in the modern sexual and relationship marketplace. Now, it's clear that narcissists do exhibit more prototypical, superficial masculine traits and energy in terms of them being more direct, focused, confident, although beneath this veneer, their masculine energy is in its corrupted or shadow form. That is, they are exploitative, tyrannical, and completely self-serving, especially if they also have traits of Machiavellianism and psychopathy, which with narcissism is known as the dark triad in the literature. I'm also aware of more recent literature regarding the dark tetrad. And published research has demonstrated that increasing numbers of women give sexual and relationship preference to men with dark triad traits. Excuse me. In contrast to the lack of sexual polarity with the nice guy, in other words, in the failure of the nice guy to produce enough sexual tension at the beginning of a relationship, the narcissist is able to produce heightened amounts of sexual tension at initial contact and intermittently throughout the relationship. In a sense, the narcissist embodies a type of hypermasculinity, albeit in its corrupted form, which can create sexual polarity even with a woman who inhabits masculine energy most of the time. We may posit that a woman in masculine energy most of the time will seek out a man with hypermasculine traits to produce any type of sexual polarity. Now, the negative impact of this broader social trend cannot be underestimated, because narcissists are experts at game playing and initiating relationships, and the current sexual and relationship marketplace is providing fertile ground for this sort of narcissistic game playing. But what we know is that the relationships that narcissists are so adept at initiating are usually short-lived, and if they're not, whether they're short-lived or not, they're destructive and often produce children in which one parent, usually the mother, is left to care for those children. In today's sexual and relationship marketplace, men who embody anything less than a hypermasculine, hyperconfident energy cannot compete with the more aggressive and seductive narcissistic and dark triad individuals. Now, this dynamic has provided, as I said, fertile ground for the game playing that narcissists are renowned for in relationship, and it can also account for the broader trend of the rise in pickup artistry and an entire industry aimed at teaching men how to jump through hoops and create all sorts of games and tension in order to attract a mate. So the relationship and the sexual and relationship marketplace has become a minefield, and many men have opted out of it altogether, or are choosing to select women from more collectivistic cultures where it's viewed or it's perceived that these women typically embody a more feminine energy. Now, the problem that what I'm discussing is creating, or potentially creating, is that those agreeable and slightly neurotic men, whom we may refer to as nice guys, have within them the seeds of the authentic, grounded masculine that I spoke about in my video series back in 2017, I believe, on understanding the 3 types of men. So these agreeable and slightly neurotic nice guys have within them the seeds of the grounded masculine, which in a prior social context, those seeds would have had more fertile ground within which to flourish. And that fertile ground was the capacity of such men to initiate and remain within long-term monogamous romantic relationships, which led to offspring, standing and respect within the community, and a clear goal and purpose within which their masculine energy manifested and grew over time. These are the men who respect the social frame and contract, which narcissistic men do not. I believe we are seeing less and less authentic, grounded men today because authentic, grounded masculinity develops. It is an achievement, and the hypermasculinity of the narcissist in its shadow, corrupted, and counterfeit form has supplanted the authentic, grounded masculine energy and is increasingly taking up the space in which the authentic, grounded masculine energy can develop. In summary, modern Western culture appears to have pushed women, especially younger women, to inhabit a masculine energy across most or all of their life domains, including their romantic relationship. This imbalance has potentially seriously disrupted the sexual polarity which underpins romantic relationships at their initiation. And the disruption of this balance is one way to explain why published research has and continues to demonstrate a sexual and relationship preference of women, especially younger women, toward men with narcissistic, Machiavellian, and psychopathic traits. This can go some way to explaining the seeming sexual ascendency of character-disturbed individuals in today's sexual and relationship marketplace, and the resulting negative societal consequences narcissists have on their partners and children. It cannot explain every aspect of the relationship dynamic that is going on with narcissists. It is a hypothesis, and I'll leave it to you, the viewer, to decide if it has any relevance or value to you. So with this video, I wrap up this series on understanding the romantic appeal of narcissists and understanding narcissists in romantic relationship. Thank you for watching, and I look forward to seeing you for a new series on a new topic in the coming future. As always, God willing. Take care. Bye-bye.